How soon should you start to begin your insurance agency building efforts? That is the topic of today's video, and I'm going to relay my experiences as a 10+ year insurance agency builder with an agency valued at 8 figures and more on when you should begin and what things you need to have in place before you do so. My name is David Duford. I own Insurance Agency Builders. Here we talk about insurance agency tips and tactics to help you make more money without as many chargebacks rolled up to you in the insurance agency building game. Truly, I have nothing to sell you. I have no desire to recruit you. The purpose of this is really just to share my experiences as an agency builder so that we can help more agencies be successful, profitable, make lots of money, and have a great time doing it without all the pain associated that so many go through. Okay, so you want to build an agency, but you're not sure if you can start. You want my advice, so let me help you. It's very simple. The first thing you need to do as a builder is before you build, is be a good agent first. Now, what is a good agent? Well, good is not great, good is not bad. So I don't think you have to, therefore, be the best agent in your agency to validate yourself as an agency builder. In some ways, that's a bad thing. Some people who are so good at selling have no concept of how to manage a group of people. Likewise, you don't want to suck at the business. I mean, what do you have to offer if you're terrible and you can't sell? Nothing. And you won't do a very good job of recruiting either. So I find that the best people who are the best managers tend to be experienced in the business. They can consistently write business when they go out there, but they're not necessarily the best in the business. They're very good, but there's definitely others who are better and certainly others who aren't. Now, the other thing that you need to be a good agent, to me, first of all, is time on task. A week in the business or a month in the business and you write $50,000 in business does not qualify you as a good agent. You just had one good month. I want to see 6 to 12 months of time before I say an agent, for what it's worth, is ready to build. Why? Because 6 to 12 months of time allows you to build wisdom. You have hundreds of usually presentations under your belt if you're full-time at that point, and you can convey a lot of wisdom and shared experience to your recruits and trainees because you've gone through them. Whereas if you don't do that, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just kind of, shooting at the hip, hoping it kind of sounds right, basically parroting what somebody else told you. And the thing is that people can sniff that stuff out. If you come into this business and you're so hot and heavy on MLM and the passive riches that you'll gain by building and recruiting people to recruit without ever getting your feet dirty, your pros in the business that are going to drive the vast majority of your revenue are going to see right through your BS. They're going to see that you're a fraud, that you're just interested in recruiting, that you don't have any street cred, and they're going to go find an agency that actually has been in the thick of it. So I say on some level, what you want to do is go out there and sell. Be somebody that's worth learning from. Again, think about it as a physician or a surgeon. I don't want to learn from somebody who's only read the textbook on surgery. I want to learn from a physician who's done 20, 30 years of the same surgery over and over, has 5,000 successful surgeries. I'm going to learn a ton of information from that person and be very much that much more successful. And the same is in our business too. The other side of this too is that you've got to, as you get involved into the recruiting, you also have to learn how to juggle your time. Because as soon as you begin recruiting, your sales activity do not end. If anything, they stay the same or go more. Here's why. A big problem that agents have starting their building processes is, well, how can I manage building and then my own personal sales? And my recommendation is to not give up personal production at all for a long time. It may take a couple of years depending on what your financial needs are. But one of the biggest problems that new agency builders do is they get too quickly out of personal sales, thinking that their agents are all going to sell, which that ain't the case in most cases. Instead, what you should be doing is keeping your activity rate high and just accept the fact that you're going to work 60 to 70 to 80 hours a week for the next couple of years. Again, I'd rather be honest with you than try to sell you some fantasy. I personally took 4 years of full-time work before I went totally out of personal production on a weekly basis. I've known people in my downline that got out of personal production in 6 to 12 months. So it just really depends. They had a very strategic approach to building a brand and build a niche. So they're very intelligent about how they went about it. So long story short is it may take you some time. Expect it to take you some time. And juggle both. That's just the cost and the price to admission. Again, Remember, if you get up to a point where you're making $1 million EBITDA and you want to exit this business, there's opportunities where there are agencies selling for $8 to $15 million. Is it worth putting in a couple years of 60 to 70 hours a week for it so that you can have financial independence the rest of your life? Yeah, that's what I would say. So anyways, that's my thoughts on when you should start. Of course, you should build an agency if you have a penchant or desire to do it, because it is the way in this business to make the most money. And I think also enjoy the most freedom, autonomy, and enjoyment. I love agency building. It's the best thing I ever decided to do. All I wish now is I wish I was a little more aggressive in building it as opposed to the more casual, organic approach that I took. But that's for another video. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, share with your other friends that are interested in building, and make sure to check out InsuranceAgencyBuilders.com if you're interested in learning more about some free stuff we're giving away to help you build your agency more successfully, more profitably, with less chargebacks. Thank you.